These are new technologies. Anything can happen with dollar. These instruments will continue developing because everyone will try to reduce costs and to make these instruments more reliable. This is inevitable, and dollar has nothing to do with it.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has warned BRICS member countries over attempts to undercut the U.S. dollar. Trump threatened to impose a 100% tariff on the BRICS group nations if they did not commit to not creating a new currency or supporting another currency that will replace the United States dollar.
Donald Trump has just drawn a line in the sand against the BRICS nations, threatening to impose 100% tariffs if they ditch the US dollar. Is this a bold move to protect America's economic dominance, or could it backfire and accelerate the decline of the dollar? Let's unpack this explosive situation. Welcome to the Revo Review. I'm Vince Revo.
Donald Trump has a new target, the BRICS group of nations. It started off as a club of 4 developing nations: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Over the years, 5 more countries joined: South Africa, Ethiopia, Iran, Egypt, and the UAE. So 9 members in total. The BRICS is often seen as an alternative to the G7, a sort of rival to the Western order, and Donald Trump doesn't like that. He's targeting a cornerstone of the BRICS agenda: de-dollarization.
Number 1, the power of the dollar and its global role. The US dollar has been the world's reserve currency for decades, giving America unparalleled financial leverage. But here's the catch. The dominance has also led to reckless spending and a ballooning national debt. For years, other nations have complained about the dollar's outsized role in global trade. Now, BRICS, a coalition of countries including Russia, China, and India, is making moves to de-dollarize. Why does this matter? Because the dollar's dominance isn't just about economics. It's about geopolitical power. Losing that status would mean losing the ability to influence global policies.
The idea is to reduce trade in US dollars and instead use local currencies. That is de-dollarization. Local currencies like the Indian rupee or the Russian ruble or the Chinese yuan. Donald Trump doesn't like that one bit. Listen to what he said on social media, and I'm quoting, "We require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy. They can find another sucker."
Number 2, Trump's tariff threats. A bold strategy or risky gamble? Trump's proposal to impose 100% tariffs on BRICS nations that ditch the dollar is classic Trump. Bold, attention-grabbing, and controversial. He's leveraging America's massive consumer market as a bargaining chip. But here's the issue. Tariffs aren't just a punishment for foreign exporters. They're a tax on American consumers. For instance, if a $20,000 car from India suddenly costs $40,000 because of tariffs, who pays the price? You and me, the American buyers.
Suppose an Indian car is being imported into the US. The price of the car is $12,000. American importers will have to pay 100% of that as import duty. That means another $12,000. So the cost of that vehicle in America just doubled. That's how tariffs work.
While this may pressure BRICS nations, it's also a double-edged sword that could harm everyday Americans. Number 3, the rise of alternatives to the dollar. Before we dive into the next point, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. Now, let's talk alternatives. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and the local currencies like the Chinese Yuan are already gaining traction. Even some US allies are quietly reducing their dollar reserves. This isn't just a BRICS agenda, it's a global trend. And what's fueling this shift? Nations are tired of America weaponizing its financial systems. Sanctions and exclusion from SWIFT have pushed countries like Russia to develop their own systems.
First of all, I'll agree that the use of dollar as a world currency gives the US a lot of money In the last 10 years, they received $10 trillion, just like that, from the skies, for the fact that the dollar is used as the reserve currency. On the basis of placement in their banks, $10 trillion, it means that they consume more than they produce, which is very important. In fact, thanks to the dollar, the US continue to exploit other economies of the world for their own benefit. Many people do not think about it, but this is important, and I'll agree with you on that. The second thing, you said that the President-elect Trump threatened that those who will not use dollar will introduce duties or sanctions. As I understand, he didn't say it like that.
The irony is that the US, in its quest for dominance, has inadvertently driven the world towards de-dollarization. Number 4, can America afford to lose the dollar's dominance? The dollar's role as the global reserve currency has allowed America to live beyond its means. It's a privilege that's paid for by other countries who hold dollars in their reserves. If that changes, the impact on the US economy could be catastrophic. Inflation would skyrocket, borrowing costs would soar, and America's ability to project power globally would be significantly diminished. The BRICS nations understand this, and that's why they're pushing for alternatives. But let's not forget, America's strength doesn't just come from its currency, it comes from its innovation, its people, its values. Losing the dollar's dominance would be a blow, but it's not the end of the story.
And their leaders are not like Justin Trudeau either. They don't respond well to threats, which brings us to the second problem. Trump's tariff logic is flawed. He seems to think that tariffs will not hurt American consumers. They will only hurt the exporting nations. Listen to his remarks on the campaign trail.
Tariff nation, it's not going to be a cost to you, it's going to be a cost to another country. I'm not raising your taxes, I'm raising China and all of these countries in Asia and all over the world, including the European Union, by the way, which is one of the most egregious.
Yes, tariffs will hurt exporting nations, but they will also hurt American consumers because they will have to pay more for the same goods, which is why this 100% threat is all bluster. It's a very unlikely approach. Having said that, expect roadblocks to de-dollarization. Donald Trump will make it a lot harder than Joe Biden. So how can BRICS nations respond? For starters, there is no unity on this issue. Russia and China are aggressively pushing for de-dollarization. The other members are not. Like India. New Delhi's goal is to globalize the Indian rupee. It does not want to target the US dollar, and Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar has made that pretty clear.
We have never actively targeted the dollar. That's not part of either our economic policy or our political or our strategic policy. Some others may have.
The dollar makes up more than half of all trade invoices, plus 58% of forex reserves. The share is falling, but it's still quite high.
Number 5, what's next in the battle over dollarization? Trump's strategy might slow down de-dollarization, but it won't stop it. The BRICS nations are too large and too independent to be bullied. The question, though, is what's the long-term plan? If America wants to maintain its influence, it needs to focus on strengthening its economy, reducing its debt, and rebuilding trust with its people and its allies. Tariffs and threats might work in the short term, but they're not a sustainable solution. And at the end of the day, my friends, this isn't just about economics. It's about the future of American leadership in the world. Proverbs 21:5 reminds us the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. We hope that Trump and our leaders would think long-term, who truly understand the complexities of global trade, and who are willing to fight for America's interests without alienating the rest of the world. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep speaking up. Your voice matters. God bless you.